And roll call, I see everybody is here, so there's been no regrets, so I'm going to ask us all now to pause and seek guidance. Okay. The next is the approval of the agenda. First of all, is there any additions or deletions?
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. There's no delegation or presentations tonight, so we will be going on to the approval of the minutes of December 14th, 2020.
I motion to approve the minutes of December 14th, 2020.
Second them.
Okay. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Unfinished business from the minutes of December the 14th. Did anyone have any questions from those minutes? Okay. No questions, no concerns. Then we will be going to the CAO report, and the first thing is the meeting dates reminders. As it says, remember, on January the 18th, we'll be meeting with the Westport Village Commission at 5 p.m. And then after their presentation, we will be meeting at 6 for our special bylaw policy. I guess the easiest way to put it. January the 25th at 5 is council, and we're going to make sure that's been put in the coastline as suggested by Matthew Ross. February 1st, TIR, and I am asking if anyone has anything they want on the, I know we always bring up stuff.
What day was it? What was TIR?
But if there's anything we can get on the meeting, because perhaps they can look at it in advance and sort of try to have some answers for us. I know Matthew and I have got a couple of.
I definitely got a few.
I do as well.
Okay, so if you wouldn't mind sending them to.
Yeah, tomorrow. I'll email everybody tomorrow to ask for ideas, just to remind you.
Yep. I'll take some photos, drive around.
February the 8th at 5, we have Committee of the Whole. Now, on February the 15th, there is no meeting. It's Heritage Day. Because of the way things are, I know we're not having Flag Day, so anyway, we will have your Heritage Day, and we will not be meeting on the 16th. On February 22nd, Lord Lady Baden-Powell's birthday's Thinking Day. We will be having council at 5 p.m.
What did he say? What day?
Lord and Lady Baden-Powell's birthdays, which is called Thinking Day, for boys
Well, no wonder I
and
never heard of
girl guides around the world.
Oh, for Girl Guides.
And Boy Scouts
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
around the world.
Thinking
It's
Day.
actually celebrated worldwide.
Oh.
And if you're a guider or a scouter, yeah, you definitely do. I could also tell you it's Janice Franklin's birthday, but we really don't want to know that. Right, Janice? Okay. I'll read on tonight. I've been with Gus all day. It does that to me. March 1st, we have 5 p.m. bylaw and policy. Now, some of those bylaw and policies, we will be working towards budget.
Yes, definitely by March 1st will be the first round of budget stuff. Likely before then, there'll be some review of some of the schedule and things like that. But we've got a pretty full agenda for everything you see on there. I've got notes on agendas and relatively full meetings for everything on the board there. So
And,
we're busy.
and what we may have to do is in March and April, have 2 bylaw and policies. Because we always, I don't mean it as we all, but we may have to for those 2 months because you don't want to get behind on budget.
No.
Okay?
I've seen other municipalities get behind.
Yeah, but
I like
we are
that.
perfect for not.
You don't want to get.
Yeah, that's right. Our
Um,
staff is
Our suits and nothing.
Okay.
No,
Now,
that's all right.
the next is the CAO update. the Brazil Energy Letter of Support was issued, then there was the Emerald City Museum funding. So then, when you start looking through, there is really no updates until we get to the Accessibility Act. And in the Accessibility Act, we are awaiting for their review and response. And have we heard from DART?
No, I think we've still, Tyler has just, I think today had some back and forth with the town.
Okay.
So we will probably be discussing that more potentially at an upcoming bylaw policy.
So I'm gonna be getting a package to give to the villages sometime soon, or?
Yeah, so I'm gonna work on that this week. I'm gonna draft letters to the villages.
Right on, you can send them, or I can send them.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
It might be good if I give the ones in Tiverton, sorry for interrupting, the ones in Tiverton, I don't know if any of them even have a computer, so.
I can send them to you.
Mail. There's something called mail that we can probably.
Yeah, that'll do, actually that'll work perfect.
No, I really appreciate the offer. And then on our rural internet, we are still having discussions with Bell on projects for the municipality. We're working with the Rain and Develop Nova Scotia, and right now there is no further information in the area to discuss at this time. There is no update on the fire and school. The Digby Library updates, there's nothing new, it's reopened. COVID-19, they increased restrictions through December, and the management team monitored the updates and ensured staff continue with existing protocols, which I think we did very well on. And then, of course, the lobster dispute, I've been with some meetings, and we haven't had any since Christmas. It was just before Christmas that we met.
Just let you know,
Is
it's tough
there-
for me to keep my mouth shut on that one.
Is there
Let you
any
know.
questions or concerns on that report to our CAO or to Tyler on the accessibility?
I like that they're detailed like always, I'm just liking them. I like makes me think I know what's going on. That's all I need, just make me think that.
The next is the departmental reports. And the first one, I believe, was from Coralie? No.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, okay. Do you have any questions to Coralie on what she put forward? I was surprised that in a month we took in $500,000.
Yeah,
That must have been
It was
so
actually-
busy out here.
it was quite busy, but there was a lot of electronic,
Oh,
the telebanking or internet banking.
That simplified things, does it?
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
There's the money.
Well, I mean, you can work on it and just keep going through them, right? When people are coming to the counter, there's a lot more chit chat.
You get up, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they can process a lot more, but I was happy about that because it was a little higher this year, so, to get it down below that $1 million mark is good.
How tough was it with just the one letter going in, the one tax bill?
Actually went along really well.
Did you get much feedback from the public on that?
Not a lot. I mean, for the majority, people, I think a lot of people paid ahead. There was a little bit of feedback, yeah, but, you know,
they
I
want
think
their
more
two
so
votes.
Yeah, me too.
wondering, like, are we going to go back? Is this going to be a new thing? And those kind of questions,
Yeah.
more so maybe. But
Confusion, I think mostly, well,
Yeah.
there was a lot of confusion that if I'm gonna get to this size, people thought we had doubled.
Yeah, that happened to me. That didn't.
That was probably the most,
Yeah.
one of the most common confusions, right, was thinking that there was two bills.
Big relief when they found out there wasn't.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, they went from very concerned to,
Yeah, I had a couple of that happen.
I talked to several seniors recently because of some things that have been going on, and like a lot of them came in and paid in advance because they were so afraid.
Forget about it. Or any number of things.
Well, they were so afraid what was going to happen, and they'd lose their house come the fall when we sent it. But a lot of them, and this is the funny thing, they told me, once they paid the bill, they paid it in September or August, whatever, that when the bill came in, none of them opened it. They ripped it out and threw it in the garbage because they had paid it. And that surprised me, because you would think you'd want to, but
It makes it easier to budget too. I had a few people on small, low incomes. where things are tight, and they were very much hoping that it was going to go back the other way, just because it's easier to keep the money.
But, yeah, it was a good report. Thank you. Okay, then the next one is yours, Tyler, isn't it?
It is.
And, again, you look really busy. Is there any questions to Tyler? I'll tell you, I would not want to be dealing with the accessibility. I think it's going to be a very difficult job.
Could you please not scare George?
Oh, I'm not talking about the counselors.
I'm already looking for a way out.
No, I'm not looking at the counselors. I'm talking about you.
Right.
Just, oh, Mama Mia, no, thank you. And it is called Business View Magazine. It's virtual. They have nearly 1 million subscribers. But we are going to be taking some pictures of staff as well, and get them. They have to be sent in this week. And it's going to be a 8-page,
6 to 8 pages.
6 to 8 page spread. Yeah, well, we were one of the 5 picked. Okay, our next one is Bruce Snell's, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember without looking.
Terry.
Oh, sorry, Terry. Does anyone have any questions of Terry?
I got one. We didn't get the grant for the energy storage study.
Right.
How much of a wrench does that throw into the potential REN plans?
It's not so much, I guess, a wrench. It would have been able to stack nicely with some of the work they're doing, or a nice addition to.
Mm-hmm.
They are still moving forward with their consultants to take the broad study that they did and find, I think it's the 5 ideas that are most feasible in Southwest. So that's still kind of happening on its own. This just would have potentially put this kind of on a silver platter for that initiative if it had worked out. So Terry is still working with some of the partners on that to see if there's a version or some of this work that is salvageable.
Tens of millions of dollars worth of projects going on, not just on the islands either. The New Minas Basin. It's kind of interesting. It's like, wow, we might actually have a new industry here, and it certainly seems that way.
Still interested in the anaerobic digester.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, those conversations are still ongoing. COVID has certainly slowed that down for the company that bought the site and all those things.
Yeah.
Their core business was affected, well, like all businesses, I guess. So they're still working on it. There's still regular communication. We're still trying to work with them on a timeline or what the vision is. They know we're keen to find out what they're looking for in a partnership.
Noticed the battery was on the wing with the camera, the weather station. I was looking at it one day. I was going through all of them, and I was like, man, what's going on with Wayman for like 4 days back?
Yeah, there was a few of them out last week I went through, and Terry's working with the supplier on getting them back online.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Any other questions with that report?
That's it.
Okay, now is the airport, which is Bruce Snell. It was short and sweet. Any questions? The dog control was just as short and sweet. We actually have not had many calls looking at that. I was surprised. It was so few. It was only 5.
Yeah, not very many.
A few of them are repeat.
I noticed one was put on the file.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them.
2 were put on file.
Noted.
Okay, and then the next is Robert's. Now, in this one, this is where Robert has asked, and I had already brought this up to Jeff before this came out, which is sort of funny, that I think we need, and I've asked him to put it on the agenda to discuss the highway signage and what's happening with it for the Maud Lewis and the cemeteries.
I wouldn't mind for being added to the coastline information about how to access the weather stations that we bought.
Oh, okay, but no, this is for our TIR meeting.
Oh, sorry. Oops. Oh, yeah.
Okay, but yes.
Sorry, I was
That's actually a good idea.
thinking about.
And Tyler's, I see, writing it down as we speak.
And I was also wondering.
Go ahead.
I was also wondering about maybe some of the title stuff with all these big announcements going on, and
Well, it's not enough. There's still.
You don't think?
No.
not quite there.
No. You gotta get a little bit more in.
I know there's. I mean, you might not be aware, but the ones on West the Islands, each of them have got tens of millions of dollars recently. They've been able to raise the money.
Great.
So, and they also put in a big electric, I don't know, doohickey of some sort, so they can take the energy being produced in the harbor and hopefully use it right here on the islands.
Okay, and then what? That was building department. Actually, when you look at that, the value, and we went by a house today that sold. We said that was the last house in our area that's been sitting there, and that is sold.
Did it? We had two camps sell for more than I paid for my house, and either had running water. And I have a waterfront house. It's not like a dumpy house. So.
Yeah, people are coming.
People are showing up still in the school still going up every week.
Now, is there any questions in all those reports, which I thought were very well done?
There's one more. There's Jonathan's.
Oops.
Jonathan.
Oh my gosh, yes. I like the idea. I see Jonathan had put in there that they would do no more than 10 people on their erratic walk.
Yeah, I saw it.
I've been impressed with what they've been doing with the little amount of money that he has to work on these trails, Balancing Rock, the Fantascal Lake, and the rail bed. So, yes, that again.
I made an argument in defense of this position to a community member, and I suggested that there's probably at least, if not more, people showing up for our trails than there was for Upper Clements Park. And the cost isn't 50 employees, it's one. And you're getting the same sort of numbers. That's what I likened it to with the person, and they seemed quite pleased with. I said it's the ultimate low-hanging fruit for economic development, and I said, and we use it. People, the locals use it all the time. They seemed happy afterwards. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Any questions on Jonathan's? Okay. I did want to bring up in the departmental reports, and it was yours, Tyler, and I did not notice anything about the new website. Website.
Yep.
Did I miss it there?
Yeah, I did. I did mention it under Heritage here.
Oh.
But essentially, the draft of the website has been completed, and we're basically almost done going through the entire content of the website. So we're going to have a new website go live probably fairly soon. I would say in the next month or so.
I had the privilege or the opportunity to see the new website, and oh my gosh, guys. I figure I can do this.
Oh, you mean I can find things on it too? Because I have a hard time.
He was showing me, and it was like, for me, here's what happens. I go onto a website, and I'm looking for something, and I think I got it, and I click it. And then I get down here, and it's not right. So I got to click out, try this one. And after I try like 2-3 times, it's gone. I do not use it. I walk away from it, and I say, tough kitty. This, I really feel, because I've had a hard time on hours. And I've had Jeff, I've had Linda show me what I was trying to find. I've had Pat. I've had different ones, because I cannot find it there. And this, from what Tyler was showing me, I was thinking, oh my God, I can use it. Oh, there's somebody thinking about me. Because I'm terrible with websites. So, I wasn't I didn't really see that when I was reading it. So, I just wanted to say thank you.
That's
Now,
a virgin.
the next is the dangers in unsightly premises, which there is none on the agenda. I am going to mention that there are people concerned with some dangers unsightly, and I have told them to go in and get forms. So there should be some. Well, it doesn't get that far.
with me, so never even asked.
Oh, okay.
And I say I give about 8 out for every one that somebody actually fills in.
Okay. So the next is our election report, and I did okay until it went sideways. And I was telling Tyler, because I turned the computer this way to try to do it. Yeah. See, that's upright down, but I was trying to do it, so it wasn't working well for me.
It's kind of hard to make sense of some of these numbers because they're applying it to the entire municipality. Is that correct?
That's it.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge this year because of CSAP. For a lot of the statistics here, like you say, it's applying it to the whole district. And then the other challenge is how much you want to interpret when we only actually ran one polling station.
It's hard to extrapolate anything from that,
It is a
eh?
bit challenging to extrapolate. As you can see, though, it's just an incredible amount of data, right? Like even this is more than we had after 2016. Like there's lots of interesting data. It's just a bit challenging with the situation around our election.
Now, you had, or someone in that report had mentioned that we send a letter.
Yeah, if we go to the recommendation, so this is Nicole Robbins, the returning officer. This
Okay.
is Nicole's report to us. So in the recommendations on this second page.
And I was thinking that we should write the letter sooner than later, which would be now. But I want council to see if they agree.
Yeah, I saw the recommendations.
The challenge is, so we had to send, it creates a lot of confusion. The CSAP is the only school board left in the province, right? The province did away with all the other school boards.
Right.
So the school boards had always created a little bit of confusion with municipal elections for people. There's been challenges. Now, so we had acclamations in 4 districts. We had to mail out letters to everybody in those 4 districts. So when you get a form, it makes you think you might be eligible to vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there
Everybody thought.
are
A lot of people
not
thought they tried
a
to
lot
vote.
of eligible voters in this. And this just, it really, really
Complicates things.
complicated a lot of things for us. So Nicole and I talked a lot about it through the process. We discussed it with the returning officer for the CSAP election, Pam Doucette from Clare, and they understand that there's challenges with this now that we don't have the other school boards. There's a lot of cost and effort and confusion through the entire
Waste.
election process.
Yeah.
So I think a letter from council being sent to the province raising these concerns and to separate it or create an eligible voters list, they've got to do something different than what they're currently doing.
They confuse everybody.
And they're aware of a number of the options in front of them, but they've got to do something different.
Should we make a motion to that effect?
Please.
Should I make a motion to fulfill that we take all the recommendations,
No.
or just the
No,
first
only
one?
that.
Just that separated from the municipal election, I think is the wording.
All right. So move that we write a letter recommending the next election municipal. Oh, where is it here? Letter to the Department of Municipal Affairs suggesting the CSAP election be separated from the municipal election.
I'll second it.
In
2024.
2023, right?
2024.
Okay.
Seconder?
Oh, yeah, that's 21.
Oh, oops. Yeah.
Okay, any discussion? Anyone want to bring anything up? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, contrary minded, motion carried. I would like us to defer to a PAC meeting whether we want to stay with paper and electronic or just electronic.
Policy Advisory Committee?
Yeah.
That's different than what we usually discuss.
I mean,
You mean bylaw policy?
bylaw policy.
Ah.
Sorry. I told you, it's not been a good day. It was a good day, but apparently not. I thought what she also suggesting that if we have staff that's available that were willing to work it, that we use staff first. I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, it is.
And having staff as our clerk and, district, what do they call it? District
Returning officer.
District returning
and
officer.
Assistant returning officer.
And assistant
Get
returning
some
officer.
institutional experience, and then just as the years go on, it's getting easier and easier. Why reinvent the wheel every 4 years?
So I think that we could make a motion now, unless we want to bring that up to discuss, that we have staff do, our returning officer and assistant returning officer be staff members.
So moved.
I don't know that we need a motion for those
This is
don't?
direct.
at this point. I don't think. I think that's got to be a discussion. I hope if we pass that motion and staff has changed in 3.5 years,
Yeah.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
That's my only concern, right? So
All right.
right now, that motion makes lots of sense. So normally it's just evaluated. We discuss it kind of the fall before.
okay,
and
so
we
we'll
have
make sure
those.
these recommendations are up again.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll have the re-discussion over the paper ballots that time too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now the next is turning the tide. And they talked about what they have done on 2020. Was there any questions or concerns on that we wanted to ask them or anything? I thought it was very well done.
Good job, Joe.
And this came from Jill. Sponsor.
My apologies. Sorry, guys.
Okay, and the next correspondence is from Minister Fury. This is a letter that has come back, and I would like to put it on the bylaw and policy for discussion. I have received an email from George, the staff sergeant at the ICMP, and I told him that we would be meeting to discuss this, because he wanted to know if we needed any further concerns or questions. Yes?
I think right now we had slotted this in for the February 1st special meeting already, so I think it just makes sense that next week's meeting is overflowing with agenda items, but February 1st, I think we can have an in-depth
Oh, yeah.
conversation on this file. And then
Yeah, it's been a
I'm
long
saying that, but I know
time.
you knew where it was.
It's like, oh no, it's been like, I've been arguing this for 10 years now. That's when the discussion
Okay.
ago.
Years ago, they.
Now,
Oh, yeah, it was 10 years ago.
is Pat, are you staying for the?
Yep, he's staying for this one.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we want a picture yet, or do we want to wait?
We can do it after.
Okay. Next, we'll be going in camera. Could I have someone move
So moved.
to go in camera? Turn off your devices, please. Is there a seconder? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. And this is for a contract